When we create and manage materials, we can certainly do it through the attribute editor, but probably a more efficient way to do this is to use what's called the Hypershade window. Now we can get to this window in one of two ways. We can go into Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade, and notice this icon here, and we can see the same icon here, Display Hypershade. So I'm going to just click right here. And this brings up what's called a Hypershade window. Now this window is highly configurable and customizable, so I'm just going to use the default layout so we'll understand it a little bit better. But if you notice, all of these little tabs and windows here can be torn off. They can be closed or maximized, so you can rearrange this however you want. Now along the top, we have a lot of menu options here, and all of these are duplicated within the window. So I'm going to focus mostly on the graphical portion of this. So here on the top left, I have a browser, which allows me to browse all the materials in the scene. So I can view these as icons, view them as a list, small, medium, and large. And then I can sort by name, by type, by time created. And if you have a scene with a lot of materials, this can really be handy. And I can also type in a name and search for specific materials. So if I wanted to, I could type, say, car asterisk, and it would find only those materials that had that word in it. Now over here to the right, we have what's called a material viewer. So if I select a material, it will automatically render that so I can view it. So if I have this one here, car color, I can view it either in hardware rendering or I can render it in mental ray to get a more accurate view as to what it's like. And then I can also view it on a number of different objects. So by default, it's on the shader ball, but I can also view it on cloth, ocean, a sphere, and so on. Now down here at the bottom, I have what's called the property editor. Now this is pretty much identical to what I would normally see in the attribute editor. So if I select this car headlight material, notice how the color is that color. If I select the car color material, notice how the color is linked to a bitmap. And if I click on this output connection, then I get the bitmap itself. So I can actually see the texture and manage it. And if I double click on this again, I go back to that. So I don't even have to go into the attribute editor to change anything. So if I wanted to change the transparency of this, I could do that very easily. Now over here, we have what's called the create panel. This allows us to create individual nodes and create our own materials. Now, once we have a material or we've created a material, we can also edit it here by just clicking on the material and then right-clicking on it and saying Graph Network. So if I select Graph Network, it will actually show me how this material is connected. Now this window here is a 2D viewport, so we navigate this using the same commands we would use to navigate a viewport. So we hold down our Alt or Command key and use our mouse. So you can see here we've got a place 2D texture. And if I double click on that, you can see that here. So I can actually double click through my nodes and actually edit those. And then I have my car texture, which is my image file. And then that goes into my shader, which goes into my Lambert material, which is how this is created. So this window is a really good place to manage and apply materials. So go ahead and understand where everything's at, and we'll go ahead and create a material from scratch next.